Welcome to another stream. Very impromptu, obviously, again. We're probably going to be doing some random game dev again, because why not, is my real question. Because it should be a lot of fun. Now, because we're doing the random game dev again, that means we're going to have to tell people that there's a stream going on. So that means telling the Twitter people and the Discord people and all of the other stores. Right, let's post this into the appropriate places. There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome. Right. So, I'm just going to wait until people come. Tonight's drink, by the way, is water. That's it. Yes, water. Right, I've got a bit of I've ate too much. So, you know when you eat, I've just had a lovely dinner. I've just cooked myself some roasted lemon chicken and some chili in there and onions and with a portion of side of bulgur wheat. Oh, wonderful way of doing things. Yeah, works well. Hello, hello, welcome. Right, we're going to be working on a game today. And, yeah, we call this council pop where I'm from. So not the municipality beer, but council pop. It's a good name. But no, I'm trying to think of another game. I've got an idea for, I don't know if you'd call it a genre, but it's going to be the closest thing I'm going to give it to, right? So I've got a template project open already. And we're going to use Raylib again, unfortunately, just to get things started. I was thinking about doing something from scratch, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, there's no real point. Not really. Still more Raylib to go, is all I'm going to say. So hello to you too. Great. Okay, so shall we get started with the programming, I guess? Which is this. Hey, we got some code. We'll make it bigger so you guys can see it. I'm guessing that's big enough. So this is, I've got stuff ready for my test project. We've just got a window opened. It's just a 1440p monitor. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing a card game. Yes, you heard that correctly. So just to make sure that we've got everything, let's call these the card textures. Load directory of textures, and it's under res, image, and it's whatever the PNG files are, right? And then we can unload the directory of textures. Dead simple, that is. So I know the size of a card. So so we call this a card width is 140, a card height, 190. And by the way, the cards that we're using are from Kenny, the Kenny NL ones. Because again, why not? And in fact, you know what? Made that really clear what's going on here. So if I just do, I know, I and J here. And if I go for the, let's call this the texture in card textures. I'm going to have some padding here. And then we have width and height. And they're going to be the same as the card width plus the padding. And the card height, height plus the padding. You'll see why I'm doing this in a minute. I'm then going to draw the texture. And I'm going to do pro version because you know what? I'm feeling professional tonight. That's the source, isn't it? Yep, I've already got it on the side because I'm clearly planning ahead. So there'll be the card width, card height. We need an X and a Y position. So for the moment, X, Y, they're just going to be zeros. So X, Y, there we go. And then we need card width, card height again. So that's where it's point destination. I'm going to put the center of it to be at 0, 0. Yeah. And then there's a rotation value, which is going to keep us 0, but I'm going to white. So rot is going to be 0. In fact, with the X and the Y, I might just do that as width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. Oh, no. Card width and card height. You'll see why I've written the other ones first, but this says texture here, and it should be... Oh, that's because that's the name. I don't need that. Right, they're all on top of each other, which is a little bit kind of, well, useless. So because they're all on top of each other, that's not the right card. Now, that's because we're going to do the position here. So I've got the I and the J, and you'll see why I'm doing this. So we're going to calculate the... position for everything. So X is going to be I times the width. Yeah. Where the width is this number here. Plus the padding. And then the Y, in fact, we can get rid of them as being predefined constants now. Oops. Where is Y on my keyboard? There, obviously. Where it's always been. We just do that. Then the next thing we can do is we can just go across the roads. So if we're off by 1, get render width, I think it's what I want. We can reset it to 0 and then go across down a row. Get render, not window, width. And that's not rendering correctly because... Why is there only one being rendered? Yeah, go try and make a project and it'll be fun. Like me, I'm just making a random card game because that's fun. Right, so we got this, but get render width, that should be... That should be right, no? I've done that wrong. Let me think through the logic. We've got the width and the height. Yeah. I'm going to call this, instead of... I'm going to call that P width, if you know in padded width. And then that one's going to be P height. That's one thing I didn't do there correctly. That's P width. That's P height. Why are they all like what? Have I got them mixed up? Source, destination, the origin, rotation, tin. Yeah. So I've got the destination be correct, I thought. Huh? That's weird. Why 144 hertz? Because my monitor is a 144 hertz monitor. Could you have guessed? Right. So I don't know what I'm done wrong already. This is never a good sign. Oh, I'm an absolute moron. I never increment the position. So now that's fine there. That one looks wrong because that's meant to be the height. Now it looks like a deck of cards. And by the way, it's all random because when you have a hash map, it's completely unordered. And they're completely on purpose to be unordered. So there's a nice little set of cards that's in the game. Not again, these source files that I've got. Now the problem is those cards are not sorted or named or ranked or anything of that order, right? So we can probably go into here and we can have a card suit. And we're going to have none, diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades. Not spots, that's not a word. And then we're going to have the card value as an enum as well. So I guess we have ace is the lowest, 2, 3, 4, 5, size 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Joker. And in fact, we could probably put Joker as first as well, because then it's kind of like the Joker is the one without no suit card. It hasn't really got a suit to it necessarily. So then we can just go and create a card type here. So we have this suit, which is the card suit, the value, which is the card value, and hey presto, Bob's your uncle, what's your aunt. This also makes it, the reason why I'm putting Joker 0th is because also that means ace is now 1, that's 2, that's 3, and you can see I'm going through it all, right? I've got some smarts to me. Now, the problem is this is still not going to be easy, so I'm going to put some tables. So one table we need will be the names of the suits, right? So card, suit, I'm going to call these texture names, right? And I'll explain why in a bit. So we have all of them. Oops. None in there, but diamonds, clubs, yeah, they're the right names. They are the right texture names for the images, right? Yeah, and then the rest are, yeah, that makes sense. Card value texture names, and there's a reason why you're going to say I'm going to load them directly from. That's not meant to be card value. That's meant to be card suit. That's meant to be card value. You come to these. Okay, so A is for ace. Then we have the numbers. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we have letters for them because that's what they were stored as. Yeah? So this is still not going to do anything, obviously. So next, what we want to do is effectively make a deck. Make deck. So make deck of, let's say deck of cards. Why not? Or card deck. Yeah? Let's get it from the textures. And in fact, in our card, we'll also have the texture in there. Alright, yeah. I'm going to just return the cards. So I'm going to just do a dynamic array of cards. And then I'm going to return them there. So for each value in the card, we're going to do this. If the value is a joker, we know that's special because it hasn't got a suit. If it's anything else, we can just iterate across all of the suits. So in the card suit, as long as we ignore the non-suit as well, yeah, we can get these things here. So I'm just going to do a fumt tprintf, because that's how I like it. And it's going to be card percentage yes. It's going to be the value of the texture names for value. And then we can append to cards a card. It's got a suit of none. It's got a value of the value. And then texture of the texture string. So that is going to be, because it's they're meant to be textures, sorry. Then when we come to this, we've got a similar like thing going on. So we have the texture value names. Oh no, and it's not just, it's then they got the suits as well. Suit. Like that. That should now give us the make the thing, but we never did that. So we can have deck, make deck, card textures, defer, delete that deck. We can not have to go through this anymore. We can just say that's a card. Card.texture. And hey presto, we've now got a lovely kind of sorted deck of cards. But I think sorting's not good enough for me, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to... Right, let's start off with a seed for this random number generator that I'm about to make. There's going to be a reason why I'm putting that up for start to begin with. You'll see. Random generator. Default random generator for that. And then that's fine. So then if I do if is key pressed, yeah, and it's space, let's do space bar because I can. What I'm going to do is shuffle those cards. Right, so shuffle the deck every single time we do it. Interestingly, the ace never moves. I wonder if that's a bug with the shuffle call. It looks like it is, which means I wonder... They got round up open. I was just checking to see what it was. Shuffle. I just changed it. I literally just changed it. So this is probably my fault. Let's try that. No. So why is there a... Index 1 doesn't get touched, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that makes no sense, because I split this up, right, to do something. So, what's the question? Has no suit, the Joker is naked? Yeah, my Jokers don't usually have suits. They usually like, there's a dark Joker and a red Joker, isn't there? Black and red. I'm not making a game to test. This is the third stream I've done where I've kind of made a game. It's a random game this time. So some of them don't shift, you're right. Oh, I'm an absolute bloody moron. Of course they don't shift. There's nothing wrong with the algorithm that I wrote. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's because the seeds, they're going to be mapping points that always map to themselves. So I'm going to have a random uint 64 to add as the new seed. There we go. So the problem is, it looks like in the shuffle isn't bad. It's just that they're doing things. Is today a Wednesday? I thought today was a Tuesday. A Tuesday? What was that? Me taking a picture of random stuff. So it's not as shuffle's bad. It looks like it just has points in it which never shuffle. Or in that sense, when it did the thing, because that's just what it was doing with, because I'm not changing the seed. So it's nice to see that this is shuffling the cards as I work it through, right? Yeah, I've been on this bottle of cold water. No alcohol for me tonight. Right, so we got all that. I wanted to just make some random numbers with the rotation as well, which is what I was planning in the head. Float 32 range. It's going to be between like 10 degrees either way. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's pretty good, right? It's pretty good, I'd say. Not bad for about 15 minutes, if that. Okay, so now this is where the fun bit's going. What card game are we making? Now, I don't want to do like a classic. I don't want to do solitaire or something. I want to make a game up. I want to make my own rules up. And that means I'm going to do some planning. So, is it clearly going to be one deck? We can have multiple decks. When you move things around, does it matter? Because it is one of those where it shouldn't be much of a problem, but it's going to be fun. Yeah, I think you're probably right. It might be an issue with it. I don't think it's an aliasing issue. I think the problem is when we get down to that thing there, it just does do that. It never gets down to that point. It's just probably a double flip, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far. We don't need any rotations, really. That was just me being, like, having fun with the rotation. But that is showing me I've got cards that are rendering. They're all in that kind of thing. And they're rendering. If we get rid of that padding as well, by the way, we get there's no padding anymore. So, I'm thinking of a game. This is where I'm thinking. I was originally thinking of doing Caravan, right? So if any of you have ever played Fallout New Vegas, there's a game in there, a card game called Caravan, and it's kind of like the basis of it is blackjack. However, what you're doing is you've got 3 different caravans, and your opponent has 3 different caravans, sets of cards. And you have to get scores between 21 to 26, otherwise you've got an overburdened caravan, or if it's under that, you've got an underburdened caravan. It's like, it's not, you have to be the right amount. It has to be between that 21 and 26. Then the face cards have got and the jokers all have the special other properties to them. You also, to make it even more harder, you have to have the things going in like a descending order or descending order until like one of the cards changes that. Now, that's not necessarily a bad game to do. It's a bit complicated, especially for one stream, because you've got a lot of rules there. Which makes me wonder, maybe I should just make a really dumb game, right? Where the aim of the game is to kill your opponent's face cards with your like other cards. So... But, oh god, okay, so I'm thinking this through as a random rule. Right, I'm going to get Milton up. And there's going to be some random stuff on Milton, isn't there? So let me just doubly check. Milton. Yeah, there was some random stuff in here. So, but it's not a problem. We got back to Milton. Ready? Let me get the screen up. My graphics tablet. Okay, we're back. So my idea, now this is where things are going to go fun. People are telling me about card games, and I'm like, not being ruined. I'm going to make one up completely, and it's going to be an absolutely dreadful card game, but it'll be a game, right? So my idea is you've got your deck of cards here. This is your deck. Yeah? And... No, ignore that. So, all right, I'm trying to think of other games. So there could be an idea. You've got... Let's do the caravan idea, right? Let's just keep... We've got the 3 caravans. So you've got these 3 positions for your cards, right? And then each of these could then attack, quote unquote, your opponent's cards, where these are just fixed. It's still a game of solitaire at the end of the day, right? Still a solitaire game, a solitary game. But these have got randomly assigned points to them. So this could be a king... You could have a jack here, and you could have like a queen. And then above them, they have some other cards stating how many their hit points. Right? So there's a 3. This could have like an 11. And then this could be like... No, let's call that 13. That's 11. That's 12. Because that's the king. They're like the... It's like what their number value is anyway, right? And then you've got your cards here, and you've got to figure out how to kill these things with your cards. So let's say you've got a 3 here, you've got a 6, and then you've got a 7. Something like that. Well, you have to kill something each turn. Have to. And then you're going to go through your cards until everything's dead, and then you've gone through your opponents. This is very much like... It's just a stupid solitaire game, right? Not much... There's some minor strategy to it, it's also mostly luck. But like, okay, so for this... The 6 and a 7 would easily kill a 13 together. But you could use the 6 and a 7 to kill the 11. But you couldn't use a 3 and a 7 to kill an 11. So you've just wasted those cards, right? So out of the total face cards that we could possibly get, and there might be a joker. The joker will have a random number, like maybe whatever. This will be fun. I'm trying to think. Aces will mark them as 11 or something, because why not? Suits, you could probably get bonuses, like you get an extra point. I don't know. We'll make this up. But I'm just trying to think of rules. So this is going to be a simple, like, destroy things. But of the suits we've got 4 suits for all of like these things here, right? And that means we have a total points to kill through. So we just figure this out. We have 12 times 3 times 4. Is that right? So we got 12 points times by 3 times by the 4 suits. Yeah? Wait, is that right? Yeah, so that's 72 points in total if we ignore the jokers. Right? If we just ignore the jokers. That means we've got 72 points to deal with. We know with our face cards, we've got between ace, and then we have 2 to 10. The aces, we could say they're worth 11, right? So really, we have cards between 2 to 11, which gives us an average score of 13, right? In total, on the average score. No, it's not right. 13 over 2, sorry, is the average score. But then the rest of them, we have 40 of them. So the total amount of points we could actually get out of this game is going to be 20 times by that. So that's 2. We've got a lot more cards, right, than points. So what we need to figure out is we need to get somewhere as a balancing score, because I would say we want there to be a chance you can kill stuff. So if we divide this number by 3, right, ish, that's the total set of points we could kill, because we could destroy things, but we don't. We want it to be a bit of a challenge. You have to be really conservative. Maybe wait until the next round until you've got some things, and then deal with them. So what we could do here is just get a calculator up, okay? 260 divided by, well, we know the average point we need, right? Is what, 6.5. Right, that's the average score of a card. 6.5. Well, 72 divided by 6.5 gives us 11 cards to deal with. Well, I think 11 is not much. So let's aim for, let's say 16 cards. No, wait, we need a multiple of 3, don't we? So we gave yourself 15 cards to begin with. And that gives us an average of, let's do that again. 6.5 times by 15 equals 97.5 points, right? So we have a chance of winning that round, but not every time. Right? That's the general idea of the game. So effectively, we can take our cards and we go, okay, we can apply these to destroy that, and then we've got to apply that one until our entire deck's gone. They get their points knocked off. And then we get a new set of cards, just randomly drawn, obviously, from the deck, which there's only going to be 15 drawn. So these have 12 to kill, and we've got 15. Now, this will just be like, we're keeping it simple. They've got the queens, and we've got the face cards. Now, this may be a stupid game, but it's a game, right? Keeping it simple, we're just doing the numbers, and that's it. So we need to figure out what is this? It's not a board. It's like just the game state, right? I hope people are. Do we have a lose condition? Yes, you've run out of cards, and there's still your attacking face cards still exist. That's the lose state. You haven't used. You didn't. The win state is you've killed them all. And you've killed them all. Effectively, that's the win state. So it's pretty simple. I'm making up a card game. It's a really bad card game, okay? But it's just to show you what you can do. So we need to have this as the game state. Yeah. Right. So we have. Yeah. So we have the cards. So we have the call this the opponent deck. And I'm going to put a dynamic in that, because then we can just resize and such. We have the player deck. Yeah. And then we have cards on table. And then we're going to have to just do this is the table, right? Game table, right? Cards on table. And call this a table card. And that's inside of it going to have a card. It's going to have, is it an opponent or not? It's a Boolean. We have the health. Actually, no, you know, even like, we can even just store that there. So we've got the health of it. And that's going to be like an I8 because it's tiny, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? And then, oh, we've got the health. And then we can also have the position. Now we've got the health. And yeah, we're just saying opponent or player. Right? Position is going to be a U. Let's keep it I8. So just a light sign by default. So we have cards and so player. Let's call these player cards. Health of 0 means they're not there, and then we're going to have opponent cards. So then we can do is create from that deck of cards here. We know what we get because we're going to give them a certain set of cards, and then certain ones aren't that, right? And then we're going to shuffle them, and then they're going to get sorted off that and added onto that deck, right? Should be okay as a little card game. Just to make everything a little bit... oh, no. We're going to call this the state. Table card state. Okay? Enum. U8. So it's going to be empty. It's going to be a player. It's going to be the opponent. But we know if it's an opponent one or not, don't we? So... empty or in play. So that's just alive. Let's call it dead or alive. Right? So when we come to got the table here. Yeah? I want to have some of these cards being struck on. Yeah? So I don't want to render every single card that we've got here, obviously. We're going to comment this out. I'm going to just do a table here with those player cards. No, let's call those... yeah. Player cards here. So they are going to be... cards are going to be dead easy. So we're just going to take card 0. Like, just to keep it simple for the time being. 1 or 2. Whatever. State is alive. Health equals... well, let's just give it a random whatever. Actually, no, we can do the card value, can't we? Because the card value gives it the state, doesn't it? So it's going to be... card... like that. Value. There you go. There's the health sorted. Oops, blew my neck. Didn't mean to do that. And then, what was it? The position. Well, we don't need to store the position because it's implicit. Right? That's the player cards. And we have the opponent. The opponent is completely passive. You didn't guess. 3, 4, 5. What do you mean I can't use that card? Oh, it's because I think it's a bit set. Well, that was why I didn't read it. Cards. Unknown is cards. Oh, is it the deck? Deck? I guess it is. And I don't need the health. Let's just do that. Table? Opponent? Cards? Okay. So this is going to be easy. So the opponent cards are going to be on top and player below. Just keep it simple in my head. And what we can do here is we go across all of this. Yeah? And then we can render them as I wish, to be honest with you, right? No rotation. We know the card details, obviously. We just need to figure out the position of them. So Y is going to be easy, so we're going to just have a position. But we want them to be in the middle which is kind of what I think kind of makes sense, right? Making a card game. So we're going to push these down, right? We're going to push them off like that. And then X at the moment, I'm just going to say this is the card width plus that thing again, right? Times I, all like that. And then it says card texture. So that's got card.card. So let's call this table card. Just to make it clear. And look, they're rendered there, but like badly. So we need to know a position to start from, which is kind of in the position of like the center of the screen. So we know that like we get the render width, right? So let's call this the width, right? Because it's including the padding. Yeah. That's the width. Yeah. But now we need to know if we're in the center or not. So let's go a bit further down. So this is going to be card height over 2, just to make sure it's, yeah, so that's fine. So that gives us that position, but then it means we've got to do the, I'm going to call this, let's clean this out. So we've got this, I don't want to call them caravans, let's call them stack count. Or, yeah, stack count is a good word to me. So then we can figure out the number and the stack count also. We need to make sure. No, we can figure this out. It's not a problem. So now we know what the X plus the render width, get render width, right? Divided by 2 is. And that should put us in the center, but like it's in the wrong place now. Yeah? Because we need to figure out an offset for this. So we need to do the stack count over 2. So times by 0.5. I like doing 0. Times by. And I didn't parenthesis that correctly. That's not in correct place, is it? Somewhere in between, right? It's going to be like F minus 1. That looks like that's in the center now. Yeah, it's 1 off. So if I do make sure this is now 5, I didn't render those cards, did I? I'm just going to really. This is just to make it dumb, right? There you go, there's the table. And that's meant to be like, so that's 5, 3. Let's do 5 now. That's, yeah, it was 1 off. It was off by 1 issue I had. So I've got 3. This is not a very like zoomed in game, if you didn't guess. So we probably want a camera. But like, hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah? We've got a lovely, like that's the, like the opponent cards. And then we have the player cards we can do. Player cards, which is going to be. Okay, so now we've got the player cards down here, right? They look pretty good in my opinion, right? So we've got a deck of sorts. It's not a very good render width though, is it? So we could probably do just if we had a camera, like a 2D camera. Camera 2D. 0 zeros for the offset. But we could just say we could do that. So then when we use the camera, we have to begin drawing mode, don't we? Get rid of this crap now. We don't need that. End draw mode. End draw mode 2D, I mean. What I mean? Don't need a camera in there. So if I do a zoom a level of 2, right? It's going to be zoomed in correctly, but it's also going to be like maybe 1.5. It's in the wrong place now. So it's not render width. Is it screen width that I want? I thought it was render width, right? We probably don't even need a camera. I don't know why. I've just done it anyways. There, we got a camera. So we got this kind of like view of what the player can have. But then, okay, so what we also need to do is render some of the hit points. So on top of the opponent cards, yeah, we need to render a score. So no, Raylib does have some like stuff here, doesn't it? So we have a, is it draw text? Yeah. Now, first off, I need to change this from blue. I want to use a different color for the background. I want like a, like, can we have a felt color is my question. What color, like, you know, like a, like, you know, the table of a card, like we have a felt thing. Like I could find just a cheap image of this somewhere. Yeah, the camera position does need to be at the center, but I haven't done the. My problem is if the target is. How do I put this? Get render width. Height. That just sets me at the center now. That's not what I want, so that's going to be offset. See what I mean? I don't want it to be that. It's the wrong place to do it. So, but it might not be, because I might not need to do this offset thing anymore, right? Probably do. Let's just do the dumb thing, okay? We may not even need the camera. For this little card game, we probably don't need even a camera, right? Because when I zoom in, make this resizable. Yeah, okay, so it probably does need a camera. But for whatever sense, I don't care. It works. Right, it's going to work. I can worry about it later looking better. Okay? Defer is literally scope exit, not function exit, so it doesn't have any of the cost like Go does, if you're wondering. Defer is cheap, effectively. Very, very cheap, not small cost. Like, Get It Goes is has to put a closure onto a stack that gets called. So yeah, it's one of those. So this is kind of the... Okay, so now we need to deal the table. So we've got the table. We're going to put the table on the outside, right? And we only need to initialize this once. So now it should be 8 ace 2 2. That's fine. So now we've got these cards. But the thing is, we can create a card. It's not really an issue. Make card. And in fact, what we can do is I'm going to cheat as well. So you know these card textures? We can make it a global variable. You go, don't you know global variables are bad? And the answer is, bite me. Unironically, they're fine. Especially for this specific thing here. We can make a card, and it's going to be the value, so card value, and then the suit, card suit, and it produces a card, right? And then we can go and just get through these, like, stuff here and just do the exact same thing that we did here. And do it, and we can just return. We don't even need to... Yeah, we don't even need a loop. Yeah, it makes sense. For the suit, for a joker, it doesn't make sense. We just ignore it. So then when we come to this, we can do append cards, make card is going to be the value. But we don't have a suit for each of them, so we have to be careful, so we do that. And then we can do these, so we can go suit. So that's just keeping the same deck. It's not really a problem. Did you mean suit? Yeah, I did. I know what I meant. Okay. From there, fine. But what we can do is we can give them the deck, right? For the opponents. So the opponent's deck is going to be pretty simple. So we can just give the table deck. So we can just set this all up, right? For all the suits, so each suit in card suit, right? And if suit doesn't equal none, keep it simple, yeah? We can then just do make, add to the table opponent cards, or opponent deck. We want to be very careful. We can say make card, and it's going to have Jack, that suit, Queen, King, yeah? And then we can do the same for the player, right? But the player is going to be a little bit cleverer, so we can have go from value in, I know, card value dot ace all the way up to the 10, like so. Very simple like that. Then we can set up the decks. So what we can do here is we can do a shuffle of each of these decks now, can't we? So once we've set up the decks, we can shuffle opponent deck, and then we have player deck. So this should be in player deck. Sorry, I wrote that one wrong. Player deck. They get shuffled. But this seed doesn't really need to be a particular seed. So I'm going to just push it here. It's going to be... Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing for this. It's not really a problem. Ignore the thing there. Because that's going to be reset the seed every single time, but we don't need to worry about that too much. We can then draw stuff off of these decks and add them on. So we can then do pop, array. No, just you get pop, table, opponent, deck, card. So this then becomes card. There we go. We can do the same for the player. Okay, so that should be very fine. Let's put a do in there. There's value. Oh yeah, that's meant to be a value there, and then that's meant to be the suit. Whoops. So this is... I've got them the wrong way around. The player goes on top again. And then look, so the player, they got the king, the jack, the queen. We run it again, it should be the exact same thing. We've got the same seed. And look, we've got a 5, 5, and an ace. So on this round, we could kill the jack, or we could stun the other two. So we've got things. That makes any sense? So that's all right. Yeah. I've got an idea what I'm planning for, obviously. It doesn't matter what those are yet, because it's not in that state. It doesn't make a difference. So we got this thing here. So we can do it, drag, 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 right? So we now need to have a clicking stage. So first of all, I know before I even do that, let's render these at player cards. We wanted to do draw the text, didn't we? I want to have the formatter as well. Yeah. And then we go draw text. We've got the position and then the color and font size. I think it's got some default text on before, hasn't it? So if I just go question mark, position's going to be X and then Y, font size, I don't know, 64. And then the color, we're going to do white for the time being. Oh God, they're in integer places now. Isn't it lovely when it kind of... let's go for the EX. Then they're not into positions anymore. Are they? I can't even see this because it's so bleeding big text. Spacing. I don't know what spacing means. I'm guessing 0. Let's go to... Oh, we'll just do draw text. Why I was a little bit confused with all the parameters. I'm not that smart. And now they've got some numbers. I think white was probably the worst option I could have done. Let's go for black. Okay, so they've got question mark, question mark. They're in the middle place, but they're not in the right. So let's call this TX. And then TY. TY. So TX is going to be offsetted by the width of it, whatever the width of that text is. So let's call this the text itself. Font. Oh, we probably don't even need... Well, we do. Font. Oh, no. Text size. Like, is there a question, how way to figure out like how big something is before you render it in this language, this tool? Also, I need to get a good color green, I think. So I want to get kind of a dark green. Let's just do an RGB picker. Measure text. That would sound correct. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to change the table color to like a felt color. So this is not... Okay, that's kind of like a felt color, isn't it? Maybe needs a bit of noise, but it looks better. And those text bits is measure text. Font size, that's going to be 64. Then we can do measure text. So that's going to be the width, yeah, of that text. And then the font size. So that means then TY, go here. TX then gets divided, literally half of the width. TY is going to be whatever the card height is over 2. It pushes it up. But then we can do that, yeah. But then also add the font size to the mix. So it now looks like it's above. We can go back to being like, I don't know, we can go to like a nice yellow, I think. Like not too yellow. So let's go for like, I don't know, 245, 238, 0, 255. That yellow looks all right. And then we can just get the value of this text, right? So we can get the TC health. That's 13, 11, and 12. Makes sense, right? So it's nice little games that go far. You were going to ask how's using Odin. Well, Odin's lovely. I know. It's one of those brilliant. Sorry, people don't know. I'm the creator of Odin. So clearly, Odin's great to use. We could draw it twice with a slight offset in black. Now that's actually a really good idea. So we do that one first. Sorry, because you want it to be first, but you want to offset it by like a couple pixels. Like I don't know how many pixels you want to do. 2's probably not enough. But like, whatever font size is divided by 16. And like 2 pixels. So let's call this shadow offset. And let's not say 16, let's say like 8. Too much. 16 might have been, we have 12. I mean, 16 was perfect, I think. So that looks a little bit nicer, right? I'm considering adopting another language for faster debug compilation. How does Odin compilation compare to Clang in debug mode? That is a how long's a piece of string. But Odin's pretty fast. And we've been getting it faster all the time now, by the way. So it is still effectively using LLVM, so it's going to be bottlenecked by that. But if you want a faster for debug build, yeah. So I'm like, it sounds a little bit weird of a statement to me because I'm like, it's whatever language it is whatever language you use. But Odin's fast enough, to put it bluntly. I could probably make these cards slightly bigger. So, like for instance, we have a destination size, right? We're going to do this card scale. So we have the card width, right? So we could have that's the true card width. So let's call this the not render width, but CW. So we say this is card width times by 2. And C height. Obviously, they would have to be like that. So every time we have this card width being used, we're not using that except for there. That card height we use in a few places. So if we move that across, right, we now got, whoa, it just gets rendered wrong. It's the best way of putting it. Like that. So now they're in the wrong place, is all I'm going to say. So the player cards is too far up. So let's put them there. And then those numbers, 64 doesn't seem very big now. So let's go for 128. Seems good enough to me. Yeah, you can do hot loading recompile languages. What you do is DLL reloading. If you want to learn how to do this, what I would recommend is the Handmade Hero episode on it, right? You can do it in Odin. In fact, there is a tutorial made by Carl Zielinski. Zielinski? I don't know how to pronounce his surname, sorry. Odin hot reloading. And he does it with Raylib as well. So he has hot load reloading for Odin and Raylib. So that's how you can do it. Do I need it? No. They said, Jesus Christ, you are orange. I'm like, yes, I am ginger. There is a reason why I go by Ginger Bill. It's a nickname from school because clearly I've got ginger hair. You'd have guessed. So that's going there. So this is kind of like a nice idea of the layout of the game. So you have we could put some text here as well, right? We could put some text to stay where the things are, but in general, I don't think it's necessary yet. Yeah, hot lorry loading isn't on the cards. That is correct, yes. Because there's no need. I'm just literally reloading it so quickly at the moment, and it's not really much of an issue. Like, look, there you go. Build, on. Build, on. Like, it's less than a second. It's like a few hundred milliseconds. And I'm streaming, so it's always going to be slower. And I've got, like, other things open. yeah, so that hopefully that helps. Yeah, but then you get kind of thing here. We've got the different cards going on. We want to be able to click and drag one. So if we're on a clicking frame now, so this is the rendering logic, right? We're not going to do, this is just the render. Yeah? So we're going to call this the rendering the table. Yeah? And you're going to see why this doesn't make any sense in a minute. Why? I'm going to have to change the logic a little bit, but it will work. So this is the render logic. We're going to now need to do the clicking logic. So, first off, we want to see if it's highlighted or not. And if it's dragging, so if we change the state, for instance, if table at say, oh god, what is that? State, yeah, doesn't equal alive for this, right? Not context, continue is what I want, right? And if this one doesn't equal alive, we continue. So if there isn't a, yeah, I made an if statement there without even doing an if statement. If they're not alive, so for instance, we could probably do, just to prove, we can get some of the players' cards gone, like that one, state, and we can set this to be dead. That doesn't get rendered, so you can see what I mean? It does actually work correctly. So that's one thing we can do. So the next thing I need to do is I want to do like collision detection. So if we've got the tint here, right? Tint are white. If the state equals, let's say hover, right? We're gonna have dragging and hovering. Where am I state here? Hover and drag, I should say. If we're in the hover state, then the tint is going to be, we're going to make it slightly yellow again, but like not perfectly yellow, but not like far off from yellow, like far off from like white. So we could probably try something like 255, 245, 165. That should be a good tint. But we haven't got a hover yet, so let's pretend they're all been tinted. And yeah, we get like, that looks like a good sunset yellow. So that's why I was thinking like the thing. So now we need to figure out the hover state. Right? We can go through all of the player cards. So this is the first thing we need to do. Oh, and actually, no, screw it. We can do the logic fucking here. Like, there's no reason why we can't just mix them together in this particular case, right? We've now got the position of, like, the target rectangle. So this is the dest rect. So let's call that the rect, right? Rectangle. Like that, yeah? We can now do the collision stuff. So it's not really collision. It's like if is mouse inside in rectangle. No. In. I just want to see if something's in a rectangle effectively. Is a point in a rectangle? I know how to do that. I know how to write that calculation from hand. I'm just wondering if there was already a... Is there already like a function for this? Is there a collision point rect? There is. You are. Wow, I didn't really notice that. So, so we've now got the mouse position. We can do this here. So mouse pos is equal to an RL vector 2. RL get mouse position. Oh yeah, look, it's a single call now. It's even better. So we have rect and the position. And if that is the case, just saying it's in that thing, we can just not change the hover state. We can just do the like, is it in that thing entirely? Yeah? In that vicinity. And, oh, have I got the wrong... Yeah, because we've got an offset here, right? So we need to do C times like 0.5. And then we can get rid of this offset entirely. But that was just me. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, for Pete's sake. Why is this wrong? Because I've got the origin of those things. I've set the origin to be slightly off so that it will hit here. But that means that the mouse position is actually off by like the... let's do the origin, right? So we need to just subtract the origin from all of that. Or is it add the origin? Yes, add the origin, yeah. So now they are like hovering as I expect. And then we can do some like UI work, effectively. Right, this is effectively a UI thing. Hi, do you know anybody here who knows anyone who knows Java and Python pretty or knows those themselves? I do, but ask bunch the chat. You might get better questions. So this is kind of the thing. So we've now got a lovely card game that we're generating on here. Again, we've only been here an hour, so it's not going to be that difficult, but it's working, right? What are the main benefits of Odin? So if you're an... the short answer is it's a lovely programming language to work in, but if you want a C alternative, which is literally a joy to program in, and it's got like mostly, we'll say, quote-unquote, modern contemporary features, such as, I know, proper array types, which, oh, and strings, like, oh, an SOA data array, a structure of arrays, and SIMD, and array programming, and many things like that. It's pretty good. Like, it's got a lot of things that are just better than C. Best way of putting it. So check out the overview on the website. Help. So I've got this, like, thing, and then what I'm going to do is we click and drag this open. So if we then click on it, right, it's clicked on, we can tilt. So then if mouse clicked, yeah, mouse is mouse button down. So I want it pressed, not clicked, sorry. And it's going to be the left mouse button, right? Then the tint, I'm going to make that a little bit more orange. Sorry, left. So it's not pressed. It has to be down for this. For this demo, it needs to be down, right? That's not red enough, in my opinion. So let's go for 255, 200, 165 should be fine. There we go. So that's now clicked. But then it should, since we've got it clicked, it should be in a different state. So this should be... we could then figure out which one is being hovered on, because it's not really a different thing. So to explain something, I'm going to show you micro UI. The micro UI is a lovely little UI system, but this will help you show how you could do like a hover ID system. That makes any sense? So this is going to be the state, and then we're going to have the hover ID. This is going to be, we're going to call this, like, it's effectively the UI state, right? So we could just hook in micro UI entirely, and then use that as the UI system. Now, is that a little bit overkill? Yes, it is. But would it work? Yes, it would. And then we wouldn't have to explain how to do things from scratch either. So it would just be a... and we could use this for UI later on. Right, there's no reason why we couldn't. Yeah. Like it's, I know some people might go like, oh God, that's really stupid. Why do you have to do that? And the answer is, well, reasons to be cheerful. But So I'm just looking at people chatting, what they're saying. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, all right? You know what? We won't need to do this because I'll just show you how to do it from scratch to a certain point, right? So we're going to have some of these. We're going to call these, let's call this, I don't know, UI ID. God, that's such a stupid thing to call it, but whatever, it's a thing. A UI ID. Let's call it GUI ID. Let's call it, yeah, GUI ID. So we have hover ID, focus ID, and last ID. Right, and then we've got the ID touch. We can also have that what last rect is. We also clearly we can just use their rectangles. We can just look at see what else is going on here. So you can see what we do when we update things. We can then just set it up. So every time we do the list, we can then just figure things out. So at the end of all of this, so at the end of all of our rendering, we can then update the handling again, right? Right, so if we have an updated focus that's meant to be a bool, we have a table. If that has been not upset, we can then say, hey, the table now has got no focus ID. And then we can set that to be false regardless. So we can put this in a block. This is end input handling. Again, we're just looking at how this works. Ignore the roots, keys pressed, mouse bits, no, scroll, last scroll mouse position. Probably not a bad idea to do. RL vector 2. Right, we've now got the mouse position. That was the last one as well. Right, so that's kind of all that sorted. So when we do like the set focus, we're going to just say the ID, so the grid ID. We haven't got a table in there, have we? So game table, table.focus equals ID, updated focus equals true. Dead simple, right? We then generate an ID from each of those things. And one of the benefits we could do to get the generated ID is we can just take the pointer and literally use that as the thing, because we know these pointers are going to be stable anyway, right? Might not be the best idea in the world, but it's not bad in the grand scheme of things. So then when we do like a button, we can see how this works. We've got the layout and then we have update control. Okay? Update control. We've got the table, we've got the ID, we've got the rectangle. And then it says options there as well. We can ignore all that. We can then just check all this. So is the mouse over this? Over that rectangle. So we can just really do a quick check with this. The mouse over trick is going to be this. So we have the mouse position, which is table position. Is it going to be... Yeah, it's going to be the mouse position. So mouse position. Yeah. Okay. So now we can get rid of that bit there. We can just do the manual check every single time, if you know what I mean. We don't need that. We have the mouse position plus that rectangle. There might be an offset, but the offset is going to be in the rectangle bit, I think. I'll handle that as we get to it. So that's going to be the rect, right? if table.focus ID. You don't know what I'm doing, guys, but that doesn't matter. I'm effectively implementing it in GUI, and I'm just copying and pasting code because it works. If mouse over, and if mouse down, left, then that also becomes the table hover ID. We can then just copy and paste a lot of this code, because this is actually just updating the control correctly for you when you're doing UI. That context thing is table. Is mouse pressed? Well, is mouse button pressed? Set focus, that's not a that's great. Is mouse down? RL is mouse down. That shouldn't be that. That should be left. Left. Hold focus. We don't need that. But it might actually need a hold focus. That's the thing. Okay, so that's now updated control. And now we need to give some things IDs. So we've got this here. So we've got the rect, right? But the rect is now corrected rect, right? Dot x equals the origin dot x, and dot y is the origin dot y. Update control. So we have the table in there. We have some ID we're going to deal with. And then we've got the corrected rectangle. And then hold focus. I'm going to say true for this particular case. Yeah. The ID we're going to have to do, I know, GUI ID, uint pointer of that thing. That gives us a unique ID at least, doesn't it? And then if ID equals the table focus ID, we can then... No, if it's the hover ID, it's going to be that. And then if it's the focus, we can do that. Oops. And look, it holds the focus as well. So unless we're holding it down, that's fine. If we set that to be false, you have to be always holding it down. But that's a beautiful thing now, right? Because what we can do is if we know it's the focus, it should be, we can set the color, but what we can do is we can do state equals drag. We don't need to worry about it being on hover. That's not really a state for the actual thing to know. We're in dragging state. Else it's going to be in the alive state, right? Now, when it's in the... Oh, when it's in the dead state, ignore it. Okay, great. So when it's in the drag state, the position of it is going to be the fun bit, right? Okay, we're going to do tc.position. It's going to be... Oh, God, we have to figure this out correctly. It's going to be rendered wherever the mouse is, isn't it, effectively? Right? So that's going to be wherever the table.mouse position is. Yeah. And if we know we're in that drag state, yeah, it's going to be wherever the mouse position is. So X is going to be table.mouse position. Oh, sorry, mouse, pos, and then Y. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be the TC position. Y.X. Right, there we go. And then we let go of it. It goes back to the original place. Like wherever we clicked is where the thing is, but we could click it and have it relevant to where we click. So it would be very much the simpler route would be, we have the correct, no, we don't need the correct rectangle, we need the rectangle. And then this will be the offset to the original position, right? But this is on, it was the, but it wasn't the table.focus ID last focus. Yeah, sorry, last ID. When this didn't equal that, then we need to figure out the difference of the places, right? So we need to effectively do the rect.x minus the rect.y. And then we can do the table mouse position dot them. You'll see what I mean when I've done this, right? I think I've got that slightly off. Yeah, there we go. Look, wherever I click from, it doesn't jump it to the middle of the mouse. It picks it up where I want it from, so it feels a little bit better. Is it possible to be handsome and smart at the same time? Well, no. Clearly, I'm neither. So it's okay. Right. This is all working, right? Look at this. We've got some cards that we can move around. We can't kill the players. So the next thing what we need to do is, if we're over one of these things, and we have to figure out which one we're over the most, by the way, because the thing is these, if we did that, it doesn't know which one, if we're not over them, but we have to be like, hey, we're actually over this one. There's probably not enough padding, is there? So if we want, let's call this padding. 16 isn't enough, is all I'm going to tell you. Right? But if we made it card width over 5, that's not enough. Over 3, over 2. That looks all right, actually. Now, it's whichever one we're over, it'll destroy it. And we'll get some health taken off of it, right? Does that make sense? I hope. So, if we then let go of it, yeah? So it's not been dragged anymore, but it was being dragged, right? So if this was, if TC state was drag, we can then just do a, I'm going to do a print line, was dragged. Yeah, makes perfect sense. So we're now checking to see if it was dragged in this particular state. And now we're going to check to see if it's over any of the opponent's things, right? So we can go over to the opponent cards. And one thing we could do is, to make it a little bit easier for when we're dealing with this, is we could have a rectangle in here. And then we'd have our old rectangle. So when we've generated these, first off, when we generate the cards, I think the better way of dealing with this is going to be card equals that. State equals that. Health equals that. And then that does that. So that's pretty simple. Like that. Oops. Why is it failed to open? Odin open still? Yeah, what the fuck happened there? Oh no, I think it just got stuck in a long loop for some reason. That's just, happens only when it's on stream. Great. So when we create these cards, we kind of give them a rectangle to deal with, right? Oh, the camera has froze. Can you still see? Yeah, you can still see the screen. That's what's happened and caused it, the camera crash. We had this last time on stream, by the way. So if I can just restart the camera again, that might actually help. So that's why Odin froze. The webcam froze. Oh. plug it in and out again, it might work. So you're seeing a picture of me for a while, and you're going to see some different sources, and then you go there. There we go. This is how you fix. I love technology. There's nothing wrong with it, right? Yeah, so we go back to the scene with me in it, obviously. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to store the rectangle every single time that we're going to render to. So we've got the target rectangle here. So let's call this the so TC rect. In fact, if that is not alive, if that's dead, right, we can do that. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a cheat, but it works, right? So these are going to be the opponent cards. Yeah, in table opponent cards. So it's going to be over any. That's going to be the stat count. They're all going to be booleans. If they happen to have any collisions, so this is the wrong bit to look at. Check collisions between two rectangles. Does either of them collide with each other is effectively what I'm checking for, right? So we've got the corrected rectangle. Yeah? If that no, it's not corrected rectangle, or is it? Whichever, we're going to find out. If is the corrected rectangle is over that opponent card rect, then I'm going to just put hello and then put the index of that card in there as well. So 0, 1, 2, probably both. It's hard to know because they're not really telling me. If TC health is less than or equal to 0, TC state equals dead. And then we continue. We can just do that, in fact. What I can do is if whatever it's over that, we have the card value, so it's the OC health minus the current card. So we cannot do TC. We should probably put EC for player card. Yeah. Health. 6. But they were over both at that time, so we have to be very careful. Over any equals true. And what I need to do here is I need to make sure if there's only one count equals 0. If over any equals 1, then we look for the index in a over any. If over, then we can break. Then it's going to be whatever the table opponent cards index is, health, minus the player card health, right? Not Heath, health. I think I've got the I don't think it's the corrected rectangle. What I need is just the rectangle, I think. 5, 2. Ace is 1, but the problem is that is not the right health. So what we can do here is we can cheat on the player. Sorry, we can do it'll be 11. In fact, no, what we can do, yeah, we do. So 11 if card value equals ace, else that. So the ace is going to be 11, right? But what we then have to do is the player card state equals dead, right? If player state doesn't equal dead, it is now alive. So if we do that, it destroys it. Destroy that and we destroy that. Yeah? But then we only have enough to kill like this. So the thing is, once all of them are dead, right, we've got to draw more from the deck. Pretty simple, yeah? Yeah, so we get the player cards. If the player cards are all dead, so if TC state doesn't equal dead, all dead equals false. We don't even have to break. We can break out, doesn't matter. We can break, yeah. If they're all dead, then we can just redraw the player cards like this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go. So we can do the same trick for the opponent as well. But in this particular case, if it is any of them are dead, but we have to be very careful here. Is there any left to pop? Yeah? So I want to doubly check there is actually anything to pop first. Because there might not be any. So first off, if... Oh no, I need to redo this logic. This logic is awful. Don't need to stack count. I just need to figure out the... And if TC state equals dead, do if it is dead for this one, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. That's working. So it's only resetting the deck when we are this is just so I can scope it out so I understand. It's just an empty block. It doesn't do anything really. It's just there for me, for example. Check player status or states in this case. And this is going to be check the opponent states. Yeah. So first off, we don't even need, if we just check to see if the player deck doesn't equal 0, we can then check it, right? And then we can also check to see if the opponent deck is that. We don't need to check if any of them are dead. We need to replenish them anytime a new one pops up, right? That's my general idea. And TC is a bit stupid, so opponent card, player card, opponent card. So we're just making it clear which one's which. 1, 2, he's dead. Why am my cards are not correct, are they? Because I'm being an absolute moron what I've just done. We'll go back to the opponent cards, and that's a opponent cards, like that. Oh yeah. If any of them are dead, because that's not dead. First off, I'm going to just do... Yeah, we don't need to do it here. And the thing is, we can do the draw, make sure the drawing is only done there as well. See what happened then? Brrr, it did that, and I don't know why it did that. Because if I just get rid of this logic again, 6, 5, yeah, so it's doing this, and we're only looking to see if it's dead. Yeah, I don't need to check to see if he has more overlap. It's just more of a, like, it just needs to be, if there's an ambiguity, I won't allow it. Well, it blocks mean for everything. They just, the scopes, right, Odin? So you see what I mean? They went really spazzy there. And it's something like this. Yeah? So it is something to do with this bit of code. That's now on -10. And for some reason... player card is dead. Yeah. And then the opponent cards... 1, 2, 3. But that makes no sense to me. Why is that not going dead? Like, if the health is negative, and by the way, yeah, it should be fine with the I8s. There's no reason not to. Like, that's now at -4. But I've gone through... No, oh, fucking hell, I'm an idiot. I can't even... Opponent... This is just me being typos, I think. Yeah? And then this entire deck as well was the opponent cards. There's no need to check to see the index in those cases. 1, 2, 3. They've now been replenished. And they get replenished as well. But the question is, when do you think they should get replenished is my question. Do you think it should be replenished on when they're all empty? Because I think it's probably... We could probably want to do the same kind of trick again, don't we? Because I think it's nice... It just seems weird that you keep killing them. Only when they're all dead. So we got 5, 5, ace. Ace. Oh, God, I've got a 10. That's an awful. An 8. 5. Let's get that one down. We got a 3. Ace. 6, 2. Okay, so that's actually working, as I expect. So the card rules game's working. I want to show the scores so far. I need to put, say, cards left somewhere. So where we have, like... We're doing them like to the side of the cards, if you know what I mean. So we've got the drawing of all of this shit. RL draw text. It's RL text format, right? And I kind of want them to be to the right of it, so it's going to be fine. So this will be cards left, %D, and that's going to be the table opponent deck. And then the position of that is going to be in the same places of everything else's. So you know where I put this like text? We've got font size to be like here. Make that as a constant to make it clear. We need a position for this. So this will be... Yeah. And then it's going to be the same kind of... that lovely yellow. With no background on this one yet, just so I can get it working. So we need the Y position. We need to be all the same position, like same height as this. So it's going to be whatever Y is. So it's the card height. So X, I'm just going to say it's 0 for the time being. I don't really care. But Y, on the other hand, is going to be the card height over that CH value, the actual card height, plus the font size. Look, some cards left. So now it's a bit too big, that one is. Oh, God, that's going to be that font size. I think this one only needs to be 64. Yeah. And I'm going to shift that one to the right. So it needs to be... oh, bloody hell. CW plus padding, yeah. And it's going to be whatever the stack... It's going to be this calculation, right? So it's going to be stack count minus 1 minus its half again. So that's going to be annoying. So stack count minus 1 minus stack count over 2. Oh, not times 0.5. And then that's a F32 calculation. And so is that. It's not an F32, they're actually I32s, aren't they? So that's now not in the right spot. And then I've got to... Is that right, what I just did? Okay. Okay, that's not even the right place anymore. Oh yeah, I need to do plus the... like plus itself, if you know what I mean. Okay, there we go. So cards left, that looks right. Cards left for the player deck. And then the height of this one for the player, I think that needs to be... We need to take into account the height of the table itself, don't we, when we render it? Wherever rect gets defined. Yeah, it's this height here. So that's probably not even correct logic, what I've just done here. No, look, it's way too low. And it's like, because we've got... that CH value shouldn't even be there, is what I'm trying to say. Probably plus CH. I didn't see that. Wait, so where's the... God, that's way too much. So I don't even think it needs to be there, does it? Minus the 64? So I'm literally just tweaking numbers until it looks all right. Yeah, that looks all right now. Yeah? So now they look, you can see what we've got 37 cards left and 9 there. So we're always going to win, is what I'm trying to say. So we actually only need, is when we draw this, the player deck, remember we were going to do the entire like max deck size. Effectively, it's going to be whatever the length of the current thing. So whatever the length of this is. Yeah. And then we want to take whichever's the minimum of these two values. So we want that, or what was the number? 15 that we took, right? And we said we got 12 cards left. So yeah, we could draw a deck. You're right. That's not a bad idea to do. I don't think we need to do that yet, because we could just stagger them slightly by a few pixels, and then that would work. So you can see what I'm coming from, right? Right. So this is, I was thinking of a different state here. So this is going to be, right. What's interesting is once I've resized it, it takes it off like the top, doesn't it? So it's a different game now, technically speaking. So that's going to be 10. It's going to be 8, and that's going to be 6. That's going to be 4, 5, and 6. 2, 9, 7, 7, 10, 4, 2, 4. I've lost. 15 might not be enough. So we might push that to 20. No, we want a multiple of, we want a multiple of, like, this, right? But you're right, we could actually keep it immersive. We could draw the deck, like, directly. Like, that's not a bad idea, honestly. But we could also draw it so they're smaller. Like, because it's taking up a lot of screen space otherwise. If you know what I mean. So I'm going to play this game, figure it out. So this is 10. So I want to kind of get them as low as I possibly can get without doing them. This is probably like a really, like, it's not even that much of a game, really. Maybe that's a 10. 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 2, 7. I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. 9, 7, 5, 4, and I win. I lose though. Still lose. So it's one of those where I've got to figure out how many cards is actually a winnable game. So you can see already there's a little bit of a skill that you have no idea what's going to be in your decks. There's a bit of chance, but this is okay, not bad. Is there a card game that already exists like this? Because this is a crap game, but I made one up. It's effectively just target the things. So how many hours we spent? We've not even spent 2 hours, and we've got a lovely card game working already, guys. We need to call a name for this. This is I'm pretty happy with this already. Right, so we can get rid of the seed this time. We do need I want a seed in here, and I kind of want a random number. So if we get the wall time. No, I don't want the wall time. I just want a time. Like, literally the current time would actually work. Time now. If I go into time package, and I'm going to get the Unix time. Yeah, time to Unix. So time.time to Unix. So the current time in seconds. That's a good enough seed for me, I think. Okay, so ace, we can kill that with directly, and we can kill that. We can do that with that, and that with that. Oh. It's a battle deck. It kind of is a battle deck game, I guess, but I don't know. This is, let's go 6 on there. We could probably do the, you know, on the hover trick like this, we could actually make hover these as well and change the color so you know which one it's going to attack. That's not a bad idea the more I think about it. If the right, if it's focused, this is a So I need to figure out if it's any of them are over. For this particular, it doesn't matter. Those will be fine. I don't really care too much yet. So ace on king straight away, doesn't do anything, but he gets it down. That and that. Yeah, I do want that state. So I need to figure out how to So this is when it's not in focus, like it's just been dropped, right? If the current state is not dead, it's actually alive. Then we do that. But if we're dragging, this one is the only time when we is over bool. The reason really, I'm going to show you a little bit. I don't recommend doing this cheat. And also I'm going to do 4, not because I like 4, because I know some guy on the stream are going to prefer 4 to see, aren't they, for 4 tabs. Okay, why would I use Odin? And so what's I don't even know what DVA or try is, by the way. And secondly, I am the creator of Odin. That's why. Yeah. So we only want to do this is if ID doesn't equal the table focus ID. Like, let's just do it here, right? If it's not dead, it's alive. Oh, and it's not the focus ID anymore. Yeah, that's correct. So what I need to do here is we need to say, we added a state to this, like, is it over? What do I think to say it exists? So if this is over, so that means table opponent. Table opponent? Oh, okay, so table dot opponent cards I is over equals true equals false. Yeah. So when we go to the tint we got here, if this is over, then the tint is going to be, I'm going to make it blue. How's blue sound for you guys? Like a nice off blue. So let's go for the that 165, that 190, 255. Yeah, that sounds like a blue to me. And look, when it was, it's not when it's over anymore. Oops, that's double indented, so it's not very clear. We can just go over them like that, right? And look, so we're going to say which one's over just by putting the card over it. So, makes sense? What do people think? So this is the highlighting bit. So they go over in blue. So when we go over, it's yellow, red, blue for them. So we can probably destroy that one and then knock down the king. Knock that down, take that, and then take that. Annoying, isn't it? But this is kind of a fun little battle game I've got. And we don't even have to say how many cards. We can actually just show. We could just show it pictorially. We don't even have to say the number. The 10 and 2 and another 2. So we have a 7, 4, 2. 10, 5, 6. Oh, it's neck and neck now. So I don't think 21's enough, right? But it's one of those where 21 might be the perfect number, mathematically speaking. So I haven't got enough cards, have I? So let's going to go for that. Let's just maximize it with that. Can I do this? 9, 10, 7. Yes! I did it. I won. So 21 was enough. Right. So what we can do is now render, and we need a back card, don't we? So we need the back. Which one is the nice color back? We've got blue as the backs. We've got green. Or we've got red. I have a hunch red's probably going to be a nice one. And I think red number 4. I think that's going to be the texture that I want. So we're going to call this the card back texture. Hard textures. And it's called card back red 4. Right? Dead simple to get. So instead of doing those numbers, we can just actually render the actual cards, right? So 4i equals 0 to 0. We have the length of the table opponent deck, like this. We do know the positions of them already. That's not a problem. So that's the X. That's the Y. And then we'll have to be, I think they were like that, weren't they? They weren't like, oh no, they will have to be floats. That's my idiocy. But then we want to kind of, for each one we're at, we want to offset by X plus equals, I don't know, whatever not the padding, but let's go like by 16 pixels. Like just for the time being, right? It's my logic in my head. So, then we need to just draw the rectangle. It has no tint, so white. Card back texture. The rectangle. Rectangle. I don't know if that is even correct. Card bar, I mean card back. We don't need that anymore. See what I mean? It kind of looks okay. I think 16 was like not, like let's go for 32. Probably a little bit too much now. So somewhere in between, 24? Yeah, so I don't think the positioning's right either now. So the Y is probably not far enough down. There's probably too much there. And in fact, we could probably only just do it on the X-axis to show you how many we've got. Like that. No, I didn't draw these. These are from Kenny. So I didn't bother drawing them for this stream because don't want to waste some time. We can push them a little bit further across, I think. Like that 64 number is probably not enough. So we'll say, so let's go like that. Yeah. That looks all right to me, I think. I'm actually pretty happy with that one. And next we can do is our player deck. Yeah. And then we can get the same X position, but the Y position's now going to be different. So it's going to be whatever the RL get render height -1 minus that. And then we've got the player cards. So it's now starting to look like a card game, don't you think? Red does look luxurious. You are correct. Right, so let's play a game. We haven't even came up with a name of this. So I know someone's posted something about regicide. Now, I wanted to make my own game up. So should I even... You know what? This is spoiling the rules. I want to make a game up and make it look cool. We might actually change the textures eventually as well, but like this is working, right? So we've got 21 cards we had sorted, and then the players have got 12, because that's all of the suit cards that exist. Aces are worth 11, which is good news for us. But that means on average, a card is worth 6.5 points, right? On average, that's what a card would be. So we got 6.5 times by 21 cards. So that means the average score that we should get is 136.5 out of this 72 they've got here. But there's a caveat. Most of the time, we don't have the right combinations. So because we've got a random set of combinations, the actual deck size that we've got here, right, is 3. So really, we've got 19.5 points on average that we can use per turn. But notice, to kill there, they've got 4 turns, right? That means we only actually have 78 points. That's why it needed to be 21. Oh, that's clever. So to get that, so we needed 71. That is the amount of points that we need. Oh, so 20. Oh, right, okay. This might be doable, right? So this is why 21 feels about right. Because, right, so 65.3. That's per deck. And then they've got 72. So it should take us 3. That's not assuming failures. I don't know how to think this through. No, so, so let me do that. 19.5 per thing. But per attempt, there's going to be 36. Right. Right, so then we've got that times up by 4. So we need 7 decks, effectively. 7 times 3 is 21. So it's just under the expected amount. So sorry, I'm doing calculations here. To show you my math, or mathematics, or maths, however you want to say this word, right? We are working. So we know that there's an opponent decks. Here, there's 3 of them. And there's a total points out here. So the average points here, they could either be jacks, queens, or kings. That's 11, 12, and 13. This means the average points is 12. And then there's 4 suits. So that means there is 4 times 12 times 3, which is 72 points total for our game. Now, we could have jokers in the game, and I have no idea what a joker is. We could say it's random. Like, honestly, it's like, hey, it's a random point between 2 and 11. Good luck figuring this one out. We could do that into the player base. That's actually quite fun if they did. That does spice it up a little bit. Now, again, there's nothing yet to do with the suits. We're just looking at the face values. But we could do suits eventually to give the rules a little bit more. Yeah, there could be a progression here, but I'm just trying to get the basic rules. It's just a fun little thing I'm doing on a... Have you noticed this is the 3rd game I'm kind of making? But this one's actually a game. The other one's just walking simulators. These here, so each thing is we've got between values of, let's say, an ace. So this is between 2 to 11. So that means that the average score we get is 6 and 6, yeah? Now, that means the average per turn, so the points per turn, so here's points per turn, in this particular case, is going to be 36. Yeah? In our case, points per turn is actually only going to be 19.5. So the question is, how many turns does it on average take to kill their thing? So if we go 36 divided by 19.5, yeah? 36 divided by 19.5, we need 1.85 turns-ish to kill a deck, right? That's how many turns we need. But we know they've got 12, so they've got 4 turns, right? Yeah, so that's how many turns that they need. We need 4 turns. So that means if we do times that by 4, So 36 over 19.5 times by 4. That gives us a number of 7.38 turns total on average to complete. So we need 7 turns ourselves, right? So 7.38 times by 3. So really, I'm going to the lower end, so there's a higher chance of losing. So 21 is why it worked. That's the expected value. So it's more of a, it's not 50-50 in this case, but it's very close to, you have a chance of losing. Like there is actually a chance of losing, which is why it's luck. Now, if we put it to 8, there's always going to be a chance of losing, but it's like it's just technically random. But it works. How difficult do we make it multiplayer? Short answer, if you're asking that question, you've never done multiplayer, have you? Multiplayer stuff can be either trivial or not trivial. It's never trivial, but it can be easy enough or very difficult. And I'm not going to bother with doing a server or anything like this. There's no point making it multiplayer. This game is a solitaire game anyway, right? Where's the multiplayer thing? This is the like they're fixed and then you're attacking it, an opponent. That's all it is. So I'm going to go. Right, let's play the game. So I can kill this quite easily. And then I can kill that one. And then we can go... Ooh, there's a lot of lag here. So let's... Why is that lagging like mad? Seriously? Why was that lagging? It was lagging randomly for some reason. I don't know. You could add multiple decks to this. This is actually the serious answer. So, but the thing is... Multiple decks would mean multiple people, so that means you'd have multiple of these stacks, because we could actually figure out, like if we push this to 5, we could figure out the thing here. So we could do that calculation that we did, right? We have the 12 times by, so we have 12. So yeah, 12 times by the stack count is the average score per turn. Divide that by the amount of average points I have. Yeah? So that's still going to be... So it doesn't matter. So we can do 12 divided by 6.5. Yeah? That's the average. Then we have to figure out... That's per how many things we need. No, I actually think what I just did was actually fine. So 21 is actually the correct answer. But if we increase the stack size, so we went to like 5. First off, it goes off the screen, which is not that bad. But the 5 one just makes it a little bit tougher now. So 11 goes there. We've got 5, 10, 4, 2, 7, 6, 10, 10. Like the stack size is not actually changing the mechanics of the game here, is it? So king, 9, 3, ace. 5 on there, 7 on there, 9, 12, and I've lost. So we can figure out which state we're in, right? So if we have a different state, it will go you lose or you win, and there's the easy way of figuring this out, right? We can probably put these right at the bottom, can't we? Okay, so the simplest answer is we can figure out the state of the person. So if the table opponent deck equals 0, if they equal 0, that's the win state, right? else. So what we do here is we can then just do continue and continue. And then we can add some text in. So like we did the text before with the backdrops, we can do that here. Final text. We could just do it here. So we've got the final text. So we don't need to... Well, they want it as a C string, won't they? So that needs to be a C string. Equals nil. If this doesn't equal nil... Right, so we can say final text. Then we want to just plaster it in the center. So we have got font size, have we? No. Let's say 128 is the font size now. So we've got the width. Height over 2. We want to put it into the center. And then we want to put that also into the center. Yeah? Got the shadow offset, which should be... Let's just say that's... Yeah, let's say that's fine. And then we can call that the final text. And then click continue. This one is going to be... you lose. You win. TX. One's an int. That should be an int. Sorry, that's an I32 I should be looking for. In fact, no, make that not work anyway. Put that as typed, not untyped. Okay, the stack size doesn't matter, but I think 3 at least makes you think more about what you're wasting. So that's that. Just put them on all that. That can be killed. That is not dead, but there's one left. Do that. Ace on that. Ace should always go on a jack if you can. That sounds like the best strategy at the moment. You lose. But that's wrong, because we need to figure out cards remaining, right? Because that wasn't a win state. So I just realized we need to figure out how many we've got left. So it's kind of more of a, we have this stack, and then we have that stack. So we have to figure out the amount alive, obviously. Or not dead, I should count. So when we come to the dead state... There we go. We've now got an alive state. And we can actually clean up some of the code later on as well, by the way. And the alive state of the opponent cards equals 0. And then that one should be the player cards. We never actually changed that. So if they're both... sorry, do the space there so it looks a bit better. Yeah, so we've got an ace on the king, 4 queen, damn it, 2 ace. Oh, that's not good. We could put a discard pile and we could render them as blue. But that doesn't really make a difference, I think, looking wise at it, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't think it matters. To just, like, this is going to be a 12. This has got an 11. Then we put the 5 in there. We've got an 8. We've got a 9, so let's put that there. We've then got a 10, 8, 10. We're going to lose. So 3, 5, 6. It says, you win. It's because I got those, you lose and you win around. I got them the wrong way around. The messages. Whoops. But we could also, what's interesting about this is we could clearly just reset the game again. So to reset the game, this is just to initialize the table. So initialize init table. So table card. We don't want to call it card table state. I think card table is a just much better name. But this is effectively what that init state is doing here. This is our... Makes sense. So we can then... clear that and the player deck. The rest can just be all... The rest is fine, actually. Why are they ambiguous? The dynamic arrays, aren't they? What? That's perfectly valid. What are you talking about? What? Oh, fuck. Table card is the correct answer. And then this is the game table. Sorry, I got the wrong thing around. So when we lose, we could click a button, hypothetically, right? We could create an up button, and then it would work, if you know what I mean. So let's figure out if we can play this game. It's a random game. We have 21 cards in total. They have 12. We have to beat them, right? Now, if we made this a two-player game, it's technically just like a battle deck game, right? So the battle deck game that I'm kind of figuring out here is like, oh god, this is not a hard game, but people play these for ages, don't they? And I've never really played them because I've just kind of okay. How do I put this? We're a few steps far removed from playing Pokemon. There you go. You can quote me on that. But right, that goes to there. That does that. We've got enough to do 12 exactly, and that's a 4. This one is going to get 12 exactly again. This is 12 exactly. 6. We've got perfect. We're doing really well now, actually. So we've got a 9. So we take that off the highest. 10. Take it off the highest. Got a 3. Ace. Done. Shit, this is it. Oh, God, we've not won. We've lost. So, easy mode. Okay, so we have different levels of difficulty. I think 21 is the hardest. 52 is you're going to win. Not 52, but like the rest of them, which is what? 40 is easy. And then somewhere in between is going to be medium. So this is how you figure out the difficulty slider. Right? Does that 10 look like it's stretched to me? It doesn't look good as a rendering font. It doesn't. This is not well-made cards, man. These aren't even well-made. But they're free, so... We've lost. So this is 11, isn't it? And 10, it says you lose. So we could always reset it. So once you get to the we could always have a restart button at the top left at all times. And we could probably just generate an ID system as well from things. But like we have a restart button somewhere, like up here. So restart ID, and we need to give it some like random GUI ID, uint pointer, thing. Data. And I'm just going to do this. This is just going to be like, hey, it's a U64, man. That's our restart ID. Problem solved. I could do a hash every single time, and that wouldn't be like a bad idea, really, to do a hash. But I'm too lazy. So pointers, they work. We could do... so we could just put this all in a block, right? We now want to create a button. So I know there is a UI library in Raylib. I know there is. However, I'm making my own. Okay, clearly I need it for the game. So, hey, so what can I do? Do a rectangle. So we can do RL draw rectangle. But we need some text first. So new game. Let's call it new game. With a question mark at the end, right? Width. Font size is going to be, doesn't have to be too big, so let's try, I know, 32. So it just needs to be up in the top left. Measure text. Text font size. I think that needs to be a C string as well because Raylib. We can then just place this RL draw text first. We can place that at, I don't know, like 16 font size, and then we can also do like the black. We could do it on black. I think it's not a bad answer, even though we can do yellow. Oh, no, let's do that yellow again, and I might just save that as a constant. No, just do black. So it's there at the top, but it's not in the right place. It's probably the bottom place, if you know what I mean. X, Y. In fact, they're TXTY. -1, -16. So we've always got it in the bottom left-hand corner, but minus also the font size. So now we're in the right place. 16 is not enough, so let's go to 32 pixels. Looks good on my screen. This is clearly not a good thing to deal with, by the way. You should probably do it resolution independent. But it's a fun game I'm making, okay? Like, I'm not actually making something which is polished. I'm just trying to make it look okay for my needs. And I think 32 is still not enough. Let's go to 64. Much better place for it. Now, we need to add a rectangle to the back of it. So rect, RL rectangle. Those positions are going to be at the 32, those places again. Minus the font size, minus, in fact, we could just keep them there. Right. TX minus 32. TY minus 32. Oops. Then the width of this is going to be whatever the width is, plus 64. And then the height is going to be the font size plus 64 again. Yeah? And then we can have a draw rectangle. Draw rectangle. Rectangle. And then we want a color for it. So let's go for... Ooh, what do you think is a good color this time round, guys? Just something like it's not in the face. So it's just like a lime green, I guess. And then we have width, which I'm going to put there as F32. And then font size, we can probably just get rid of the sizing on that. There we go. That lime green is not bad, actually, to be honest with you. But now we can do an update rect. So update, we could do tint. Yeah. Update control. Table restart ID. No, let's not call it restart. Let's call it new game ID. And then we have the rect bolts, because we don't need to worry about the alt focus ever, in my opinion. Yeah. If then table ID equals focus ID. Oh no, if last ID equals ID. Oh no, how do I figure out if it was clicked or not? I can't remember the logic. I'm going to just do a print. Just to make sure I'm not cocking up. New game ID. No, okay. So if it's the... I just want it on that click. So when you do... if we look at micro UI, right? We do a button. If it's the current ID and the mouse is pressed is the best way of putting it. That's what we need to check for. RA is mouse pressed. Left. So first off, after that, we can then just restart the game. So init table equals table. See? But we don't want it just on press. We want it on, in this case, we want it on release. No. No, that doesn't make any sense. So we do want on pressed. The tint can be a much darker green, I think, when you click on it. So that can be like, I don't know, 105, 150, and I don't know, 100. I just know, yeah. It's like a weird color green. Like, see when you click on it, it does that. But then if it's the focus, so if table.hover ID equals the new game ID, we don't want that to be we want to be slightly like yellowy, I think. Like some more olive color. So I'm just making numbers up. Yeah, that's look, hover ID is when we're on it, when you hover over it, yeah? So we've got the ability to start a new game anytime we want now, right? We need, honestly, we need a good name for this game. Like all the classic solitaire games have got them, right? The thing is, what we could do is we could have this underneath so you could see the score and you could see what it stacked up to kill it. Like, see what was previously, so you don't have to rely on these numbers per se. But that just means it looks like they've been stacked, not been, like, just solitaire. Now that's, solid match it. Yeah, this is not bad. Look, do you think this game is fun in the chat, guys? Are you all thinking it's fun? Is the real question. Because this is not a bad game that took 2 hours to make, really. And now I'm just not really polishing it. The next thing we have to do is figure out scaling, which means that's going to be an absolute fucking pain. Because I think we're just going to need a fixed like render size. And then the target's going to be the same regardless, right? The render target's always going to be the same size. And then you scale it to what's necessary. Like, you might play this, like, yeah, it might be a really good game to play. Like, this is clearly makeable in 2 hours. Like, if I can do it, you can do it, guys, really. Also, I do think with the running decks, keeping them straight does look a little bit, I don't know, boring? Like, a little bit fanned out looks like that. Kind of looks okay, in my opinion. Like, that +2 is probably not enough. But if we do times 4... Yeah, and if we don't do it as deep, maybe if we did like 12. No, in different cases, like these stacks are deeper. So if we do an 8 in that case, and that one gets 8, rather than completely fanned out, which one do you think looks better? The idea that you've got some depth to it, yeah? Or, because, by the way, when you polish a game like this, what you would actually have to do is you'd pretty much want it to be animated. You wouldn't just want to be instant like I'm doing. But the instance is a prototype, obviously. No. The top one and the bottom one are identical. Would you want them to be more like that? Or I'm saying go back to what it was originally with like that, where they fanned out? You prefer the straight one? Yeah, okay, we'll go for the straight one it is then. I was just making it look like an actual deck. But whatever, straight it is. Okay, so 21 is the goal of this game. We've got 21 cards, they've got 12, and we've got to beat them. And we've got to be very tactical about this. So this is 11, so we can destroy 11. 8 we can't do anything with. This has got 8, 10. So we could get rid of a 2 to get rid of it, or we could just tally it all down on 1. Now we've got a bit of a waste of a card. So that's dead, and that one's dead. Yeah. See what I mean? So there is some, like, I'm not saying skill to this game, but like there's an ace here, which is 11, by the way. So it's kind of like that is a pure waste of a card. So we've lost, I think. You lose, new game. No, I've just lost. Is it always possible to win? No, there's a game of chance. So there is a chance, there is a probability of winning, and there's a probability of losing. I don't know the odds because I haven't calculated them, but I have calculated the expected amount of turns you would need to win, and it's above. We've got, I think 7.3 turns is what you actually needed to win, but you've only got 7 turns. So you're actually below the expected value. So that's the calculation I've done to do this game. It's kind of working out. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. So aces always go to 11s. That just gets rid of it. They just annihilate each other with the same points. But now we've got 8, so let's put that on the king. We've got a perfect for a 5. Let's go for 9, an ace. It was a waste either way. Let's go for 10, 10, 8. 7, 6, 8. 11, 3, 10, 6. Oh, God, we've lost. And look at this. Look how much we've lost by as well. This is the chance it's not always going to win. I actually want to see what happens. I actually don't know if I've handled the logic correctly, by the way. Let's go from 21 to 22. So we have 1 extra card on our deck. Right? So we've now got enough to make 11. And then we've got enough for that. We've got 9, 8, 6, 9, 5 and 5. We've got 1 for... That makes an 8. That's dead originally. Dead. That and that. 9, 5 and 10. Look, there's 1 left at the end just for fun. 10, 5, 9. So I did handle the logic correctly. Okay. So what I could probably do here is in our deck size for the player, we could probably add a jack to the mix, right? Always have a jack. So we have a joker, joker. So joker's going to have a random value assigned to it. And you have no idea what it's going to be. So it's got none, right? But when you make a card, we've got it. So we need to do a health. So health is going to be the value of the card. Yeah. Except if we do a partial switch on the card value, if it's an ace, it's going to be equal to 11. And if it's a joker, it could be any of the values, right? So should it be random or should it be it just kills it entirely? So it's always worth like 13. So it always has the chance to kill something. Yeah, because, oh no, there's a chance. If we use the joker, there is a chance to re-roll. Yeah, that could be an option, you're right. You could always get another card back. But we've just chucked all the other cards anyway, so there's not really a... We don't know where they've gone. Like, when we pop off a card, we need a disposal deck, really. Like, these are the dead deck. But, you know what I mean. I think the joker's just going to be, like, 13. It's always going to do something. Like, we've got a joker here. Well, this is 13. It's dead. Wonderful, yeah? But that's funny, because every time I play this game, the joker's always going to be first now. Because I haven't, for the life of me, handled that correctly. Okay, so sometimes it's not even there. So I'm going to get it so the joker's first. There should be always a joker in the deck. Ooh, a joker could be worth 0, but you drag it on one of your other 2 cards to duplicate it. That's not a bad idea. But what if it's the... Oh, but the thing is, what if it's the only card left? No, it wouldn't be like... No, it would work. No, I think worth 13 at the moment or random is fine, but you could... Because 13 at least says, right, this is a missile strike. It's your only missile strike in the entire game. Right? So have fun. This is 10. We've got 15 here, so we're going to go 10, 2, and 7. We've got an 11 here. Got another 11, which is kind of useless, and then we got a 5. 3, so we can get that down to 7, I think. That's we've got 10. We've got 2 10s effectively, so 10 and 10. We've got an ace and a 4, so 4, 6, 1 on the 1, because clearly that's... We've got a joker, so we can kill him straight away. What? That didn't work. What happened? I know what I did wrong. I don't think I'm doing the calculation correct. Oh, no, I am. 6, 5, 6, 7, 10. It's the lowest card there. We've got an 11. We've got a 9. We've got a 12. 3, 2, 6, 8, 4, 10, 9, ooh, 7, 11, 9. Joker, you lose by 1 card. We lost by 1. Okay. Right? That's what I mean. We've got that 1 extra in there right at the end to make you think, could it be the Joker? That's what I think. I think it's kind of like ace is nice to be nice at 11, but then you haven't got that's worth 12, but you've got one that's worth 13. But yeah, by the way, guys, if you haven't made games before, you probably should. You can see how fun this is. And we can polish the game. The thing is, with this game, you could make it look even better with animations. You can make it look really good. Like what I've done here, like some stuff I've already done some minor polish. Like wherever I grip from, it changes the thing. We could even change it, like the icon at the moment, because we haven't got cursor. We've got like set mouse cursor, and we can change it to something else. We could do like literally set the mouse cursor here. So if so table focus ID doesn't equal 0, right? So we could turn this into a switch statement actually. Then we can set the mouse cursor. So RL set mouse cursor to be a pointing hand. No. It needs to be like a grabbing tool, effectively, right? But that doesn't exist. I know it doesn't. Hover. That one's going to be a pointing hand. Else. Default. Arrow. Default. I don't know what... Yeah, actually that crosshair is not actually a bad idea. Yeah. So I want to see if there's any more rules we could do. Is if the suits are the same, we could actually add like an extra point, maybe. Because it's like, look, it's just numbers at the moment. The suits don't mean anything. But we could, if they're the same color, because this is the thing, is difficulty rating, we could have different difficulties to it. Like, there's no progression in this game. This is literally like a nice little solitaire game. But yeah, at least we've now kind of polished this up with the pointers in this. So if we go to this, is there anything else? Like we've got resize not allowed. What does that one look like? Oh, like that. Yeah, I don't need that. Right. Dragging a card under. Yeah. Yeah, we could try and sort that if you want. So the problem with that, right, is we just draw in order. There's no like Z index to how we sort things, if you know what I mean. So the question is, how do you deal with that? It's a real good question is the best way of putting it. That's not a bad idea, right? Yeah. If it's the same suit, it draws the card for you straight away. That's not actually a bad idea. So, We can just check to see if that was like there was the same suit. Right? So that's all like the UI state. So we could call this UI state, and we could put it here. Not call it UI, let's call it GUI state, because I like GUI stuff. It's GUI. And then we have... we can then just reset this. So when we initialize the table, we can then go table dot bolts, right? So if it's all dead or just true for the player, and it was the same suit, so as soon as we kill it, if yeah, if OC.suit equals the player suit, or the other one value equals a joker, then table was same suit equals true. If it's either of those states, then it's fine. Like this joker, as soon as we do it on like 13, it draws another one for us. That becomes 11. 2 and a 4. This is going to be on the same suit, so it's reset it entirely for us. King, Jack, 10. I actually don't like that. Ooh. I think with a joker it should be fine. Like, yeah. Or if you kill one, right? That might be a better way of putting it. Not if they're the same suit. If it is dead, like if you kill it, then it resets it. So like you draw one, you get one drawn anyway. That's quite nice, maybe. I don't think it should get another card, is what I'm saying. Okay, let's think this through. So that's 11. So that reset it completely on those redrew all of them. Oh, no. So it's, I only want to redraw that specific one. So it needs to know which player card it was. So it's an I, isn't it? Shit. That goes down to -1. is greater than or equal to 0. If all dead, or I equals that, then we can do that state. Yeah. And then we can just change that to -1. Table dot that. This would be PC. We've got ID here, so this is player PC index. Okay, so that makes it clearer what's going on. Oh god, is my camera froze again? Yeah, it has. I'll be right back after these commercial messages, because I don't know what if it's the camera itself or if it's the it's definitely the camera, let's put it that way. I'm back. Just, yeah, so an extra card if you kill it. So if you kill it perfectly like this, so 10 and a 3, the one you killed it with gets the card back. So now this is up to 13, so we can do this. That gets back now, and they're all reset. So if they're all dead, then it works. They all just get replenished. Now we've got something that goes up to, like, this will be 12. This is another 12, so it doesn't really matter which one we kill it with. 10, 12, shit. We've got 11. We've got a 14. We've got a joker. So I'll be careful here. Let's just kill it. That won't kill it, but we'll let's waste that. Da-da, da-da, da-da. You lost. I do think. So hello, can I? Did you come up with the syntax? I am the entire creator of Odin, not just its syntax. Yes, that's if you're asking. Joker shouldn't kill the queen. No, there's only kings or queens or jacks you can attack. Right? Now, what we could do to make this a little bit spicier is this is clearly got the high point in scores, but if they had a different size deck with different points in them, we could then calculate what we needed on the other side. So if they had similar scores to us, like for instance, they had normal points, and it was a different color deck though, right? They had a blue deck and we had a red deck. Yeah? Then you wouldn't know what cards could be there. So there would be that battle deck element going on now, right? So we could change different scores. So I'm just thinking about how you'd make this two-player, because I've just been thinking about this make it solitaire, right? Because I am playing this solitary, obviously, and not multiplayered. I'm not doing animations to figure out where the things are, by the way, because that's just too much of a pain. Because you have to have intermediary state, which figure out where that thing is coming from. But it's something you could do. It's just I'm not doing it on a stream. So that's that. I'm going to have to make some thumbnails, by the way, for all of this. Well, at least later. Because it's going to be fun. So, right, 11 goes... Wait. Those scores are all wrong, aren't they? They had the wrong scores. That's a bug. Oh, no, it wasn't a bug. It was the bloody game. I was in the middle of a game, wasn't I? Right. Jack. Thing. Done. 6, 4. Shit. Dirt, and dirt. 2, 8, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5. Things done. Thing. You lose. This is really hard now. It's really hard. 10. Got enough for 11. That's an 11. That means this is the problem. Is you don't want it too low because you don't get cards often that are too low. So this will be for like 14. So that's enough to kill it. We've got a Joker, which would definitely... The Joker doesn't kill it. Or does it? Is there any rules extra about the Joker that I added? No. Just when you get all dead cards... Sorry, that's making me sure that they're all dead now. That just cleans up that logic. Lovely, in fact. Right, looking at the chat. Yeah, we are still working on a second backend. It's just been on on hold for a while, just because we've got other things to worry about, pretty much. 2. Thing that. Joker on the 13, but that didn't get rid of it, did it? It looks like... So I'm gonna... Right, what I'm gonna do is force a Joker to come first. Right? That's really simple, because I just put it first. So it does get rid of it now. Okay, that's alright. So we've got a 10 or a 12. So let's do it for a 12. For a 7. Fun. That gets rid of that one. We've got an 8. We've got an 11. Got another 11 there. 6, 2. Kill it with a 7. We've got enough for 11. We've got a Joker, which we can kill it with. See what I mean? Did it kill it? I don't think the Joker is actually doing the right thing. Yeah, because that's not right, is it? No, it's not. Oh, fun. I didn't get the... that's why it doesn't work. Hard health. Let's do the value. Health equals the I8 of that. Switch. Partial. Value. Ace is 11. In fact, return 11. Joker's 13. And then everything else is the I8. In fact, I don't really like to do that. So we got the card health. Yeah, so I've got all of this silliness. That's why it's probably not working. It's like doing 0 because the jokers have got 0 on it, hasn't it? That was my bug. Okay, that was simple enough. Yeah. Make a table card. Card health. So every time we've got this, we can just make a table card, right? There we go. Okay, so 11 goes on that. So let's bring that down to 4, 5. Oh god, we've got a joker. That's not going to be helpful. Let's go for that. 3, 12, 9, 7, 6, 12, 11, 9, 11. We might win this. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, so this should be enough in there. It's getting close, right? I'm getting okay, but it's a game of chance, obviously. So that kills that definitely. So that solved that bug. So now we've got like... God, we've got a 1 there. It's annoying, isn't it? It's just like... not useful. We've got an 11. We've got a 10. 4, yeah. Got a 12. We've got a 15, which is more than I need. Let's just paste that out. 6. Waste it all on that. Oh, fuck. That was fun. The thing is, we could actually have an easy mode where you see all of the cards that are about to come. Like, that's not a bad idea, in my opinion. Like, the next top 3 cards, we show what they are. Like, just the top 3, and then you can plan ahead. Okay, so we've got 11 here. Let's push them down. 11, 5, yeah. So what if we just show the top 3 cards? Yeah? But not for the... only for the player. Right? And then we can figure out what that thing was. So we can have texture card... back texture, yeah. If I... So we want the last 3 numbers, right? If that is the case, just take that texture, take that by I texture. And then, but the I plus 3, we want probably just greater than. It's not... Wait, why is that not playing? Oh, because I'm a moron. It's only showing me the top 2. So we do the top 3 again, and you can't see them. right? Wait, why is that not? It's meant to be there, isn't it? Duh. Way too much now. No, so I want to know... Okay, so I need to do the top 3, effectively. And only the top 3. And they need to be, like, you can see them. Like, fanned out. So you could just rotate them. I could just rotate them. Then the rotation is going to be... have we got math imported? Yeah. Oh, God, it wants it in degrees, doesn't it? I think, doesn't it? So if we go J plus 1. There's a plus 1 there, yeah? So that's going to be J times by 15. I mean, it has rotated it by 5 degrees. But you can't even... It's rotating it, like, the wrong way as well. So if we do it by 10 degrees... 15 degrees... Plus... what's that? 45? No, we need 60, don't we? Because we want the first one to be 0. That, I think, looks pretty good, don't you? So we're going to prove this, right? 1, 2, takes it off. That's actually adding a little bit more strategy to the game, right? You can see what it's doing. It's rotating it around the center. Slightly, probably the wrong place. But we could probably do the... Yeah. If we made that like 20 degrees, you really see it. But then the problem is the position of that one is like wrong, in my opinion. Yeah. Like if we made the offset be closer to the bottom, right? So the offset.x was actually at that bit there. And then the .y was at 0. Oh, that's not what I wanted. It's at the CW, so it's CH, and that's at 0. Now it's there, right? That's the rotation point. But then we can put where x and y need to be. So x now needs to be at C0. And so is y. Or h, sorry. See what I mean? So you've got, now things are coming into play and they look a little bit better because you're fanning them from that corner. And I think 15 degrees is too much now. We only need like, no, that's not enough. 10 degrees is enough. Look at that. And clearly what it's showing off here is that if we just like move our deck, do anything, it's showing what's coming up next. So I've got enough to destroy one, and it's going to pop those 2 off. So you can see 7 was there. So now you've got the next ones. That's what's coming next. Now, interestingly, what's coming next is not going to be in the order that we add it in. But it doesn't really matter. The player's just going to figure that out, kind of thing. So it does give you strategy now. So it might be possible. But like we could do a what's it called? peak. Is peak like that? Yeah, peak amount is 3. And that's going to be +1. And in fact, while we've got this D thing going on here, we can times that all by D at the end. So we've got the J plus the D peak amount, and that should give us if I got an extra parenthesis, yeah, that's what the problem was. So we can change that peak amount. If we do to 5, we've now can see 5 ahead. We could even do 2 ahead, or just 1 ahead. But I think 3 ahead is enough. Shouldn't the rightmost card be the lower? Think about it. Okay, so what's happening is it's adding it like this. Like the 8 goes to that one, then that 5 goes to there, then 10 goes to there. It's going from left to right. But yeah, you could add a card in the reverse order. Like there isn't a reason you couldn't do this. Right? So now if I do this, you'll go 7 to 7. Right? Got that first 7 went onto there though. You can see what I mean? You may think it looks okay, but it only looks okay if all of them die at once. So, like, I do that again. Yeah, so if I did that again. Yeah, now it looks... That's not where it looks from. I can't remember. That's the opponent deck. I didn't do it right, so I meant reverse here. So that's the one it will look like for you. So if I do 10, 10, 10, you're back into place. So that's okay. Yeah, you could have just found it out the other way, but like, no, I think this is fine. We've got a Joker, which is absolutely useless on any of them. So let's just use it. 12. Fun. I think I've got an issue with these cards. So when I get to the end, I think what's going to happen... Yeah, look, see what the problem is? If there's only like 2 left, then the rotation amount isn't correct. I had a hunch that would be the okay, what the issue would be. So, where do we do the rotation amount? Yeah, so it's not the peak amount that we need, that J amount there, right? It's going to be... Effectively, how many are remaining? Isn't it? That's what it's going to be. It's K minus J. Wait a minute. What do you mean miss? Oh, they're meant to be F32s, aren't they? Yeah, so if I do that now... In fact, we could always just cheat it and go down to like 1. And it crashes. Why did that crash? Oh yeah, because it's... Yeah, now it works. Safely. Yeah, there's 1. Let's go to 3. No, so that's one problem there. Actually, the rotation bug is kind of okay. If K is less than the peak amount, K plus 1? Yeah. Right? So go back to 21. That should be okay. Now, the only other thing we've got wrong with this is, as you're right, people said, oh, these render behind now. So effectively, you kind of need to sort them. But like the order that you render them in need to get dealt with, right? So if it's in the dragging state, we probably just render it again, is all I'm going to say. Like, it's not difficult. We just redraw it again somehow. So we just need to redraw that entire thing effectively. And in fact, we can just, we don't even have to check it. We can just redraw it. And here's a beautiful thing. We could do it. So we could do texture ID doesn't equal 0. You're going to love this feature about Odin. Expand values. There we go. That should have worked. That's meant to be, that's meant to be close brace. Ready? Look, it redraws it. So we don't double draw it. Yeah, now I'm not drawing. Oh no. Yeah, that'll be fine. Queen. Dead. 4, 2, ace, 2, ace. We've got enough for a 6, but I couldn't do it anyway. 6. Yeah, and expand values trick is what I was kind of doing. Like, it kind of works. You can just capture the results and it'd be fine. Annoying, that's the set I've got. So there's not much I can do. If I just do that, pass that to 11. Got 3 there. I might win this. I don't know. I think I will, but got it. Okay, so if I do those 2, that's 15 gone. Yeah, it's doable. Ready? It's not doable. I just lost. I could have done it, but I didn't do it right. I also think that these should be probably further across as well. They don't look like... Oh no, the other ones can be further to the left, I think, actually. Come to think of it. Okay. We could probably push them across like this. And now it's a little bit like too much off, I think. So I do another half card width. Sorry. For the... Yeah, that should be okay now. They look a bit better. Looks a little bit more spaced out. You can clearly tell which is which. But we could also make them a little bit nicer by drawing literally one of the backing faces, but tinted to a different color. So where they actually are rendered, right? Yeah. We could render that again. Card back texture. Yeah. We've got a rect. But let's do an expanded. Can I do that? Is there an expand? Is there anything like in a rectangle that you can do something with the rectangle? I'm just going to try and expand the rect. Like this. So if I do... It's minus 10. Width is plus 20. Height is plus 20. So then we have the rect. Well, that's meant to be width. And then height. See, there's a backing to it where they should be. So then if I do this tint to be quite dark, and like 0.5, no, not 0.5, that doesn't even exist. 120 as well for a backing. Oh, they shouldn't be... BG rect. Let's not call it expanded rect, just call it BG rect. Yeah? So now it kind of feels like one, but we can probably not make it completely black. We could probably just say like 50. And it's still now, it looks like it's got that background to it now. Right, but I don't think that's actually a good thing. I think fully black with some transparency to it. So if we went a bit like lighter with the alpha, yeah, I don't think 20 is enough actually, to be honest with you. 16 and 32. Yeah, they look nicer now. Much nicer. So if we do the exact same thing here. What did I use? 70. I should probably define these constants somewhere, is what I'm trying to say. And then that text as well, we could probably shift it up a little bit further as well. So the current score is literally, the values are determined originally. So if you we'll look at this game right now. I'm going to go 5, 5, and then 2. It takes off. So now I've got enough here to take off 13 in one go. So once I do that, I get another piece left. What's interesting here is I've just realized the background ones are only calculated if it's dead, not dead. So I shouldn't do that. Oh, shit. If it's dead... We can copy and paste that there and just handle it twice. There's no reason why we can't. Yeah, now they look... Okay, so then the other one we've got here is for the opponent cards. Right? We can handle that now when it's a dead as well. Okay, so this is starting to look a bit polished. If you know what I mean? It's starting to look like an actual game. But the problem is this is, to put it bluntly, this is resolution dependent, is what I've been working on. Which is not a good thing. Right? So all these numbers I've just been doing at a dependent resolution. So what I should probably do is render to a render target. And then scale it? Maybe? Or do the camera and the zoom thing again. But like the zoom wasn't correct. So camera zoom equals 1. We've got that, and if I zoomed in now, everything's in the wrong place. Right? But if I zoomed out, everything's going to be a little bit smaller than it should be. So the question is, how do you deal with the zoom of the camera so that it matches the stuff correctly, right? These are the smaller numbers. So if I made them the actual size of the pixels, because they are the size of the things themselves, right? And now I've got to go all the way over there for that. This doesn't look great, to put it bluntly. I'm going to try and make a small resolution now, just to see what happens. So it's one of those where 1080p, this doesn't look bad. Doesn't look great either. So it's one of those where we probably should be doing it in terms of the camera size. So we need to stick it as like a certain resolution and then keep that to the resolution width. Well, you know what? Because it's only an online game, like I'm messing around with, I could just say, fuck it. Because this is not, it's not correct. This is just clearly a bodge. If you were going to do this correctly, I'd polish this out. Because, to be honest with you, this is not even 700 lines of code. It's fine. It really is. So, there's my amazing game. I do use VSync as a hint. And I've got a target set as both. I've done both. So, yeah. No, I don't want to... That's not... I know what the proper way of doing it. It's just I can't be arsed. I've been here for 3.5 hours. I think I'm done. So I'm going to play one more game of this. And then I'm going to call it quits. And then it's going to be fine. I'm going to play one more game until I win. That's my rule. Yeah? So I've got enough here for 13. I've got enough for 10. Let's just waste a point. We've got 7, and when we got this, we'll have enough for 11 directly. 14's there. The Joker on the King, and then we could do. We've got 6. We've got an 11. We've got this is 13. It's a waste of cards, but it works. Jack for definite. Oh. It's going to be a waste either way. Oh god, that's going to be 12, so we do that. We've lost, so I'll do a new game. So that goes on 11. We've got enough to make 9, and then we'll have... So if we do 2, 2, and 5, then we've got enough to do 7, 11... there's 15 here. This is an awful set of points. Do the 4s there. Oh, bugger. Bugger. 10. It's a waste of a score, but it'll work. We've got 10s again. 9, 8. We might win this, but we probably won't. 13 for that. Yeah, we've lost again. $15. Let's just do that. Joker, that's fine. We could always say we get 2 jokers in this. This game is made with Odin, my own programming language, right? It's a really good language. I recommend you try and use it out. So it's not made with Game Maker, no. I'm playing until I win, right? This is written from scratch in this stream. Everything in this stream. So for the past 3.5 hours, I've made this game and polished it slightly to make it look a little pretty. So no, it's better than Game Maker. It's Odin. Right. So this is just over the top. That's 12, isn't it? So we could do that. That's 11, but it's an awful score. So do that and we get a new one back. Do a 9. Shit, that's shit. That's another 11. That's either a 12 or 15. Just like that. 5, 7, ace, 10, 6. Ah, 21's probably not enough for it. Like it's more lose than win, right? So ace, leave the jokers, but I've got to use it. 8 gets that one. Joker on there. I want a 5 because I saw the 5. Fuck. Right, let's reset that. That's 11 for Defi. That's useful. Well, I've got a 12 there or a 15. So let's go splitting them. Do the 6. I've lost again. Right? Lost again. Oh, no. Odin's now 8 years old. 8. He's 8 years old and what? 9 days? 8 years and 9 days old? That's how old Odin is now. Yeah, it's a long time. It's been a long time. So again, this is one I got 13 there. So I've got that one back. And I'll get 10. 5. Oh, fuck, that was stupid of me. Why did I do that? Let's get that. I can get 11. I can get 12. I can get 5. Oh, God, that's an annoying one. I just wasted a card on that, so I'll restart this game. This is difficult. Maybe 21 is probably not enough. So we'll go up to 23? No, let's go to 24. Right? And that should give us some leeway at least. It might be too easy at this point. $10. No, don't do that. That's stupid. Queen. Do it. 6. 4. Ace is really wasteful on that. We could add some rules like, hey, if you do kill this in one go, you get it back to the deck. You could probably make it lesser. There's some other rules we could probably add. Right? King. I think 24 is too easy now. Look, it's way too easy. Look. Win. 24 is too much. So if we went back to 22, I've already played. But this is just one of those where it's just trying to figure out where the actual number of cars that you should have, because it just doesn't work. This is too easy now. But I say that and I've just lost. But no, it was me because I was messing around. But I think 20... That's 23 plus 1, by the way. So that is technically... so that's 23 minus 1, because you've got the Joker there, obviously. $23 minus 1 is fine. So this would be like a 23. Can't call it catch 22 because that's not what that game means, man. That's not what that phrase means. Right, Joker goes there. We could make it a little bit. There's only one Joker in this entire deck, isn't there? Which is a little bit silly to me. There's only one Joker. We could add 2 Jokers to the deck and just spice things up. That would make it a little bit easier to deal with, but that's 13. That's more than I need, but it's needed. Oh god, I've got a Joker now that's useless. Great, I've now just wasted the Joker. Let's go for that and for that. That's an 11. We'll put onto that. It was a waste, complete waste. Yeah, I win. So it's one of those where I think with 2 Jokers, going back down to 22 or 20. Let's go back to, let's do 22 because it gives it a little bit of a spice. But I'm done. I shouldn't be playing this game anymore. I said I wouldn't. I'm a liar. Absolute goddamn liar. That's useless. Do that one. Definitely that. So 23. I think 23 is the answer then. Okay. So I think I'm gonna call that quits tonight. And if you've got any questions, please tell me. Because this is going to be fun. No suggestions for the game. If I do another stream, it probably won't be this game again. It's one of those where I'm having fun, okay? Just making little games. And it's showing you should do this yourself. If you're interested in making games, do this. Do what I just did on stream and do it quickly. Test things out, even if it turns out to be bad. This is how you do prototyping. Raylib is not necessarily my recommendation. I've just been using it because I'm trying to learn about Raylib myself, pretty much. If I was going to do something properly, like I was going to make a game that was going to sell, I don't think I would use Raylib. But I might do. It's one of those where I don't know. Like I'd probably want to use my own thing, because that's just me. I always like to write my own thing. But there is the... what's it called? Aspect of the game where, I don't know, Raylib does have the benefit that it works on all platforms straight away. While if I had my own custom thing, I'd have to port it to every other platform. That's one thing way of putting it. But yeah, Raylib's really easy to get up and running, and you saw how quickly. This is, you've been saying, this is the third stream that I've done where it's showing how quickly this is, like quickly is to get up and running. But yes, last question for people I need to ask: what should we name this game? Not just card game. We should call this. What should we call this? Well, no. Sometimes I wouldn't want to make my own stuff. I can't call it. I wouldn't call it Ginger. But we could call it Stack Breaker. Because they're stacks. These are what we call as stacks. And the thing is, the stack count that we have up here, if we change it to 5. Oh, now we can't see the thing on the side. But if we change it to like 4. Now let's go to 3. Let's go back to where the fanning is. No, that's fine. That'll keep it alive. I think this is not game stack breaker is not bad. It's not a bad idea. Like we could say face off. That's not a bad name for a joke, really. But it's like you can see what I mean. It's a nice little game, and it shows you what you can do in a couple hours to prototype a game. And if you can't do that, you need to learn how to do it. Get good at it. And I know you can't see what I'm playing at. I'm literally just playing the game again, man. I'm literally just playing. But, yeah, so that's showing you what you can do in a few hours. But, yeah, so the question is any more questions before I go? Because it is like 11 o'clock now, and I should be going to bed. Any questions? So... It's only against court cards, right? Yeah, so maybe something like Face the Court, Clash of Cards. Clash of Cards. Really? Face the Court isn't actually bad, actually, as a name. Royal Intrigue is a nice one. Right, but you can understand the idea of this game, right? It doesn't seem like a bad idea. Because at the end of the day, it is kind of... There's no chance... The chance is what card you get. It's not chance on attack. Because I'm not a big... I don't play card games usually. When I say don't play card games, what I mean is I don't play things like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. Which are like... no, not for me. But it's more of like... Cards are nice and simple because there is something like simple to them and you can generate all of this complexity to it, even though there's like these numbers and... There's colours, and there's enough variation to go in here that you could do stuff. Like, I would love it that there would be some different face cards. We could also probably... We could do the entire 52 card deck, but then the other card, they would have to they literally have to have a mixture of different decks in there. So it's one of those where... If I've got 22 at the moment, and I doubled that, if they had 2 decks... of those cards, you could do a whole deck. So you could actually figure this out. You could figure out like what's been, and what could come, and for them as well. But you've got 2 decks of them, so you've got a doubled up of what could be there. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. Just that. It doesn't mean that it's correct. It just means you've got something you could figure it out. Like it might be a solvable game rather than there is a chance of luck here. But the chance of luck does make it fun. It's kind of like when you play backgammon or something like that. That or like any of the solitaire games in general. Backgammon's not so like it's 2-player, but you know what I mean. There's that aspect of chance as well as some strategy. Because like here we can see what's coming ahead. You can't see what's coming ahead for the opponent. I know you can't see what I'm talking about. I'm pointing at a screen, an actual physical screen here. But yeah, we could put some pin cards, like we could reserve, but everyone would just reserve a joker or the aces. It'd be stupid. There's no point to like, hey, could we pin this and wait for later? Like, I think the strategy that I kind of came up with made more sense. But yes, please, first off, so to tune out so that people aren't doing anything. Firstly, this was all made in Odin, and of course, Raylib. Of course, they are all on here. Look, we've got mini audio, we've got Raylib on this thing here. Look, Raylib here's the source code to our Raylib stuff. And what I would recommend you do is if you want to make a game, try Odin out. Or if you want to make any tool, graphical or even non-graphical, try it out. And you can saw how easy that was to make a game. And this is the third stream I've made a game, and I've made it in a few hours. That's how easy you should be making games. You should be doing it if you want to be doing that. And you should be doing it quickly. Prototypes things out. And if you can't do it quickly to make a prototype, get good. Get rid of those skill issues. Come on, as the memes are going nowadays. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to call that a night. So bye.